Today I have Mrs. McAnuff with me. Thank you for being my special guest today.
Not a problem.
And Nunuk Village.
No, I am joking.
That's terrific. Me too. This has been such an interesting time while we have been working and learning at home. Has there been anything wonderful or joyful that you have discovered during this time? Something that has made you particularly chirping?
I was watching the news the other week and I was watching about the Venice canals and how since we're not using aeroplanes and all the boats so much, that how clear they've become in such a short period of time. And so I was thinking on a large scale, it's pretty amazing that in such a short period of time our Earth can start to heal itself. And so in our school we're learning so much about sustainability. To actually prove that it can be done has been pretty amazing. So that's one thing that's made me particularly happy, and me and my family have been speaking about quite regularly at home. And also just spending time with my family and without all the karate and the netball and the soccer, and just relaxing and just spending time with them and doing good old-fashioned things like jigsaw puzzles and board games has been really, really amazing.
So that certainly is a silver lining, isn't it, really, with this time that we've had. So, Mrs. McAnuff, your speciality is health and physical education, and during this time right across the school and the country and the world, we have been so aware about keeping healthy and looking after our physical health. What do you think we have learned as a community about our own health and how to look after it?
I think at the moment it's been imperative that health is the biggest thing that we're having to look at. So, I mean, things that we've always known about washing hands and eating well and regularly exercising have always been something, but now it's really in our forefront of our mind that this is actually a central time to be doing all these things. And also, you know, with the social distancing and having to put our health and other health of people in the community first. It's a huge time for health.
Yes.
That's all we hear about.
That's true. And what are some of the positive skills and habits that you feel we have learned while we've been at home that we can try and keep when things return face-to-face teaching?
I think talking to my students this week on Zoom, so from pre-primary all the way to year 6, my question I asked them was, what are some of the activities you've been doing at home during this time? And the children were really excited to tell me about their bike riding and their skipping and their running and their canoeing and all these things that they've been doing. And it dawned on me that the students are really good at motivating themselves to keep active away from all the organised sport. And so that was a positive for me. And I think that's something that they'll hopefully continue with as well. Also, just when I've been walking my dog along the river and with my kids, it's just seeing the amount of people out enjoying the outdoors and just socially distancing and keeping safe, but just enjoying that fresh air and that family time. And I really hope that when things return back to normal, people still value that as something that is really worthwhile to do.
Yes, yes. Learning at home, it certainly does have its challenges. And normally with your subject area, it would involve playing games, learning together, learning from each other. How has this worked with your teaching and the students learning at home? And did you have to share tips with the students, or were there particular protocols or messages that you had to share with the students to get that up and running?
I think, so as with every teacher, this was a bit of a challenge. Being a phys ed teacher for 18 years, I don't really do a lot online. So for me it was firstly overcoming that and being pretty proud that you can just get on with what you have to do with a bit of knowledge and a bit of experience. So the tip for me was I just had to think outside the square a little bit. So the first thing I did was I went onto the WA curriculum and had a look at some of the assessment ideas I had on there, and started to look at phys ed as we do in PE, just never in this sort of forum, that there's more than just the fundamental movement skills and the working together as a team. So this week, for example, the year 5 and 6s have started to look at how to test their heart rate and how the heart works. The year 3s and 4s have been looking at reaction time and how they can use that reaction time in sport and testing not only themselves but their parents to see who has the best reaction time. And that one's they've been really good. So it's more about the why of sport, not necessarily just the doing the sport. And I think for me, one of my favourite activities was setting the children a challenge of creating their own obstacle course with items around the house. So we had balled up socks, we had pool noodles, we had chairs, all these things that they were doing. And not only that, but when they shared their obstacle courses online, all the other students started to comment really positively about the courses, and that was a great job, and I loved how you did this, and it sort of allowed us to still have that normal PE feel where everyone was working together as a team.
But also linking to other subject areas as well, you know, biology and physics, and you know, the creativity of creating or designing an obstacle course. Look, there's nothing more important, and I don't need to convince you at all, nothing more important about other than our well-being and the well-being of others. And we hope and pray that soon it will be safe for all of us to return on campus. When that happens, what will be some of the messages that you will be needing to remind your students about?
I think, given the current situation, I think it's really important that we are really big on social distancing still. And a subject like phys ed, that can obviously present some challenges. So what I've decided to do as we come back into the term is to look at subjects more like cross country and athletics, leading into, this is cross country season, it's perfectly socially isolated sport.
That's right.
Myself and the two sports captains have actually come up with a new cross country course that we're very excited to share and to teach everyone else. And also with athletics coming into term 3, we've got a new sport in shot put, and we want to have time to be able to learn that new skill. And once again, we can really make sure that the kids are still being active while still maintaining that distance as well, keeping everything nice and clean, but you know, working towards a goal.
Sounds like a very good plan, and it's just worked out really well, hasn't it? That it's cross country. So now there's a special time in our bulletin where Mrs. McAnuff is going to present her quote of the day. But true to PE style, what I have here is Mrs. McAnuff's special electronic whistle. Okay, so I'll play that, and that's going to focus our minds while we listen to Mrs. McAnuff's special famous words. Okay, let's go.
This quote is from Brené Brown. And it is, a joyful life is made up of joyful moments gracefully strung together.
I love that quote.
Love it too.
Absolutely beautiful. I'm glad that you chose it. Thank you so much, Mrs. McAnuff. I've really enjoyed my chat with you. Let's have a great week, and all the best for you. And Buddha One.